Hello, 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 my lovelies. I have just been having so much fun doing readings for you guys and just making all these videos. I just had to come back again today and do another one. I want to do as many as I can before I'm actually going to go off on a retreat again because I've decided to do so for my birthday, because what better way than, ringing in my new solar year and lunar year, because I'm going to go for 2 weeks, then going on a retreat. So I'm going to be doing some really, really intensive spiritual work again. I'm actually going to be in silence over my birthday. I've never actually done a prolonged silence period, so I'm going to be doing a few days of that. And so I won't be doing any readings around, and my birthday's on Valentine's Day, which is super fitting for a twin flame such as myself. So I'm going to be doing that. I will be away from the 11th of February up until just before the end of the month. So I want to do as many videos as I can beforehand. And as I have mentioned before, I have actually opened up to doing readings again, and it's just been so wonderful. You guys are the best, and it's just so many really, really powerful readings that I've been privileged enough to do, really. So thank you everyone who's come for a reading. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honour, always is, to do these videos for you. And welcome to all the new subscribers. Thanks so much to everyone just for stopping by, just for looking, for all your donations as well. Like, honestly, I'm so touched, and you know, this channel is essentially for you guys, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing it. So much gratitude. I just want to say that before I start anything. And yeah, everyone who's been with me for a while, I love you guys, as you know. So really interesting reading today. I'm doing this one on special as well. I've done some extra cards as well today. I don't normally pull the romance angels for this reading, but I was very called to do so, and having done it, it's very evident why I was called to do it. Some big messages for the divine feminine out there, so I'll get to those in a moment. But I am doing this reading. I actually made a mistake when I said the price of this, but I am honouring it. I said I'm doing it for £25, 25 English pounds. So if you'd like one, I will be doing I'll be taking orders for this reading up until the 8th of this month. Okay, so let's carry on with the reading. This is called, for those of you that are new, this is called the treble cross spread. I also, as well as saying the wrong price, I was meant to say it's £35, but I said 25, so it's going to be 25 on special up until the 8th. But it is, what was I saying? It's called, the treble cross spread, or the Nadi spread, not the Queen of Heaven spread, as I said the last time I did this on YouTube. So let's clear that up. Let me quickly explain, for those of you that are new, what it is. This side is for the divine masculine, this side is for the union, this side is for the divine feminine. We've got advice cards, and we've got how they feel towards the union. It's called the treble cross spread because there's 3 crosses essentially, and it's called the Nadi spread because it was inspired by yoga and the 3 main energy channels: the central and the right channel and the left channel, the masculine and the feminine, the solar and the lunar, the Pingala, the Ida, the Pingala and the Ida. Sorry, I'm getting a bit dyspraxic today. Anyway, let's carry on with the reading. How it goes is, this is for the recent past, the present, and the most likely future, what's going to happen. So for the divine masculine, where were they? We've got balance in reverse, which is temperance essentially, but in reverse. And this just signifies that recently, and this could be for now as well, depending on where people are on the timeline, where the twins are on the timeline, the counterparts and the individuals. But essentially, this is a period of them feeling like they've lost their balance, a little bit imbalanced, because it showed up in the reverse. I don't always read. This deck is not supposed to have reversals, but if I feel like it is a reversal, I will read it how I'm intuitively guided to read it. And they had been feeling imbalanced. And I do get the feeling that even though this is meant to be a past, present, future, there is a merging of all these things. So for the divine masculine, they were feeling a bit all over the place, a little bit unsteady, a bit mixed up, a bit unsure. And for a lot of them, it was causing them a lot of distress, actually, because the overwhelming energy that they're in right now is this death transformation, this energy of releasing, of shedding the things that they do not need, but the reason they're doing it is because they're finally seeing the light. They're actually seeing things that they weren't seeing before. They're facing up to things that they didn't want to see, and they're realizing that these things weren't actually that scary a lot of the time. They kind of were closing their eyes to it because they were building these thoughts and beliefs and fears to be much bigger than they actually were in their heads. But now they're actually seeing them for what they are. And it's that old adage of, you know, when you see stuff, it transforms. When you really kind of look at it, it changes and doesn't have a control over you anymore. And that's something that has been coming up in a couple of the readings that I've been doing as well. Where are they likely to go? They've got this open up energy, and clarifying it, the Three of Cups. So what this means is it's actually twofold, because for some people, this is going to really work. For one faction of Divine Masculines, this is really, really going to work. And they are, in fact, going to be able to open up. And they're going to be able to enjoy celebrations as a result of that. They're going to be able to actually... This is a card of reunion as well. They're going to be able to enjoy that. For others, for a smaller minority, I'm getting, it's going to be a traditional kind of... They will need to open up. They will need to open up in order to enjoy the celebrations, and some of them will cling to what they already have in fear. So let's hope and pray that they all kind of do what's in their highest good, which most of them will do, I'm feeling, because it depends on how effective this stage is right now. So the now is very important. The more that they can shed things, the more they can be brave, the more that they can face up to things. I'm really drawn to this guy's smile and the fact that he's really glowing from within. The more they can expose their own light and uncover their own light, the more they'll have to celebrate about. And I'm really getting, for many of these people, when they do open up, they're not going to be able to help it. It's just going to be a very natural kind of phenomena. It's going to be very spontaneous. It's going to be a real kind of outpouring of what's in their hearts. It's going to be their cup runneth over, kind of abundance of emotion and of love. In terms of advice, we've got this clarity of belief. And this is the Ace of Swords. It actually came up reversed, but I wasn't called to read it reversed. And they also got very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And it's very much about, you know, clarity. It's about clearness. And I see parallels between the artwork as well as the message of these cards. And it is, I'm seeing, because it's a number one, for some reason I'm feeling a certain immediacy to it as well. So I think many of them, they're being encouraged to communicate, many of them, and they're being encouraged to make the most of the moment right now and the momentum right now. But they also need to communicate with themselves and find out what it is that they clearly want and really make that clear to themselves. It's almost like if you want to think about the ego and the superego and the id and all of those kind of psychological parts of the mind, it's about getting them aligned. Essentially, it's about getting alignment with the heart and the mind. I'm seeing the heart and the mind being aligned, and the body. They're being encouraged to do that, and that will lead to very swift action, swift results, swift changes for them. In terms of how they feel towards the relationship, we've got healing begins. And we've also got 2, which is listen. And this is the Six of Swords equivalent and the High Priestess equivalent. And it's about them kind of healing themselves and looking to themselves and listening to themselves, as well as listening to what's going on. They are paying a lot of attention to the relationship, to the union. And that healing is happening for themselves, and they're feeling a lot more ready and a lot more less triggered when they think about their counterpart, when they think about the relationship, and when they think about what is possible in the future, because these are all things that were sending them into an absolute tailspin before. And what's happening, this is actually something that's happening, because again, this healing begins, this listening, this facing up to things and seeing things and hearing things that they were afraid to before they're really listening to themselves, and they're really seeing things about their reality and what's going on. And we've got love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And it's more about them seeing themselves in a much more positive light. And also this is going to make them more confident. And so they are going to find themselves, they're going to think that they are more worthy rather than being attractive. They're going to think that they're more worthy. And that in turn is going to magnetize the feminine more. It's going to magnetize the relationship. It's going to magnetize what they want, what they truly want for them in their life. So the more that they do this, the more it's going to magnetize their truth. That's probably what I should call the video if I remember to do so, because sometimes when I'm channeling I forget what I say. So yeah, it's all about them magnetizing the relationship and feeling better about themselves right now. So that's wonderful news, and that's all going to happen through this imbalance, through this death, through this transformation and this release. And that's going to lead to an opening up and a celebration and an overflowing of emotion and love and energy. For most of them, it's going to happen very soon, and they're going to, love themselves more. In terms of the Divine Feminine, where they were, an interesting two cards. We've got this Two of Swords, refusing to see, and this Six of Cups equivalent, simply love. So for some people, they were just refusing to let go of the past and refusing to let go of this relationship and being almost clinging to it but not acting on it, but thinking about the good times, being really reminiscing. For some people, they were getting angry about it and having negative emotions about it too. Now, interestingly, for where the feminine is right now, we've got this reach out card, which I don't always see as a literal meaning of the Divine Feminine having to reach out. Many Divine Feminines actually really want to do it. And if this is something that you feel that you are very called to do, the cards in today's reading are really encouraging you to do it. And many of you, it's actually encouraging you to do it in the physical. I'm getting that many of the Divine Masculines want that, or some of them want it. Again, only take what resonates, because a lot of this will also be not in the physical. It could also be a telepathic need for communication. It could be a telepathic desire to reach out, a telepathic or an emotional, or in some other non-seen dimension. It does not have to be with visual. That was a bit of a Freudian slip. So clearly some people can send out a message visually. We have being called to talk about one of the underlying cards that we've got is actually the Knight of Swords, and then underneath that, weirdly enough, okay, that's why I was called to do it, is the Page of Swords. Because I was like, oh, we've got the Page of Swords here, and it was a Knight of Swords, and the minute I took removed the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords was underneath, and this wants to be seen, because many Divine Masculines are looking at the Divine Feminine's social media. So the message is, for those people, you can send a message in many, many different ways, and social media might be one of them. So we've got reach out. This is also reach out for guidance. If anyone is called to call upon your spirit team, your guide team, your higher, any people, friends, if you want to get counselling, come for a reading from me or from other people, it's all encouraged, because it's all about reaching out means getting help, as well as for some people, as well as for others, reaching out to their Divine Masculines in some way, shape or form. But it's important to do so, I have to say, without having a sense of any expectation. Just do it if that's your truth in your heart and there's something that you want to express. Or you want to really, if there's a certain person out there that you want to connect with, reach out to them, and it will get you where you want to get, basically, for many of you, and point you in the right direction. Or something good that needs to happen will come of it. So that, but what that thing is, who you need to reach out to, that depends on you. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm actually also getting, for some people, it's going to be, it does not look like it's directly related to any, like your counterpart, but it's also going to be reaching out to any friends and family that you might have slightly kind of I don't want to say bad blood with, but any kind of negativity, if that's been there with someone that's very, very close to you and someone that really influences your life and impacts your energy, you feel, try and you might want to smooth out things with them as well. So whoever that's for, that's that. The likely outcome, we have got challenging times, which is the 5 of Wands, and we've got the Ace of Coins in reverse. So what this is saying to me is that there might be a few, just exactly what it says, there might be a few challenges that might look like they're really unproductive and you might not want to face up to them. Like, they really might be things that you would much rather avoid. But these are actually things that are going to have to be, obstacles that are going to have to be overcome. They're actually just going to have to be there. They might cause a few delays. They might cause a few minor inconveniences. But I'm generally getting it's nothing to be worried about. It's stuff that has to happen. It's all in the process of things getting resolved. This is what you have to face. So it's to do with consequences. It's to do with repercussions, it's to do with responsibility, and it's to do with essentially fighting a few battles, standing your ground, and actually proving to yourself how strong you are and what you can handle and what you how far you can go. So it's actually not a bad thing at all. Now, in terms of advice, we've got Seek, which is the Hermit card, and clarifying that, we've got express your love, go ahead and make the romantic gesture, and flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. So it's all about communication. Interestingly enough, it's paired with the Hermit, which is very much a card of introspection and very much a card of kind of, I want to say solitude. It's also the card of Virgo, but that isn't that important. It's more about solitude, looking within and connecting with yourself, which is why it's interesting, because I'm getting the message that, yes, for many people, all of these kind of expressions are going to be, again, very spontaneous, and they're going to happen energetically or maybe telepathically. And it's going to be spontaneous. Like, the more you look within and the more you kind of at peace you are, essentially, the more work you do with yourself, the more you're not going to be able to help but express your love. You're not going to help but be able to be light-hearted and extend your light-hearted energy towards others. This is basically, when you think of flirting, you think of flirting, but this is, in this reading, it's almost like extending your light-hearted energy. It's about raising your vibration and radiating that energy to other people and your surroundings. It's going to happen naturally. That's just the way it goes, and that is going to help you call in your soulmate, because that's how we've got these are very, very reflected in these two cards as well. The advice cards are very reflected in how the divine masculine feminine actually feels towards the union. We've got the 7 of Pentacles equivalent, which is awaiting results, essentially kind of working hard, working on yourself. It's very symbolic of that work that you've put within yourself, and that is going to raise your vibration, which is naturally going to call in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So many people have been doing those rituals because of the new moon, and that's very reflected in these cards as well, because the underlying energy is new love with this deck. It's a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. But what I'm really getting is it's a renewal for many people. It's a renewal of how they feel towards their actual counterpart. And even if they're not thinking about this person, there has been a renewal in the connection. It's almost like the divine masculine is turning into a new person, specifically the divine masculine, which is why many divine feminines are feeling that pull to reach out and contact them, because they really want you to on some level. Or you can sense it and you want to find out what's going on, you want to explore, you want to see, you want to find out, basically, see what's happening. So there's this kind of Knight of Swords, Page of Swords communication happening on the higher levels, and a desire for it to happen on the higher levels, but also in the physical. So that's a very, very interesting development. In terms of where the union was, it's all very, very powerful stuff. It's I'm almost seeing like this axis that this whole thing is spinning on is really, really, really being grounded into the earth right now. If you remember my last couple of readings, I was saying, you know, everything feels very, very kind of unsteady, like it could change, like it's very up and down, like it's shifting. Now I feel like it's definitely grounding, and there's no coincidence that at the linchpin, that the kind of the center of this reading, the very axis that it's spinning on, is this base chakra, this Muladhara kind of energy. So that's beautiful. And at the bottom here, we've got the Shine card. So for me, this is again to do with the new moon, because obviously the sun, this is the sun card. The new moon and the full moon are times when the moon, the sun, and the earth are all in alignment. So we have, yeah, it's all about alignment here, really. And then grounding in of all these energies. And again, it's beautifully kind of represented here as well with this card, the World. And this is more of a kind of we've got a lot of twos here as well. That was the clarifier, and it was a clarifier for these two cards. We've got Blossom and Observe. And this is very much kind of, again, it's all major arcana. It's very much about, I'm feeling growth, manifestation, and seeing things in a different way. It's about shifts. It's about mainly growth and shifts, and observing things. This is there's a lot of light and growth that's represented in the union energies here. And also the completion of a cycle, because that's, you know, the 21. We've got so many twos. What else do I want to say about it? The other card that wanted to show itself was codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So I feel that this is more to do with the imbalance and the release that the divine masculine was feeling. And now I'm also getting that this is what is coming to light. This is what the new shifts in perception are going to be about. And the knowledge about these things is what's going to blossom. The release from codependency is what's going to blossom. And the more light that's cast on those, the swifter the transformation essentially is going to be. And yeah, the better things are going to be. Lastly, the underlying energies for the first deck that I used is Success and Growth, which is the equivalent of the Eight of Wands, which is another communication card. And obviously in this deck, it's all about success and growth, which is very much what we have coming for us in terms of the union energies. So the main message is, if you feel called to communicate in the physical, communicate in the spiritual, communicate with yourself, communicate with other people, communicate with your counterpart, and set intentions, and generally just express your love and make your vibration as high as possible at this time, divine feminines. That is what you're really, really, really being encouraged to do. And these are the most energetic cards of the whole reading. I mean, I know that most people that do watch this are divine feminines. I mean, just to reiterate, to summarize, we've got calling in your soulmate, and this is all right next to this number 1 card, which is coming out of, it's the base chakra, it's the Muladhara, it's the root chakra. This is what is kind of the stability and what's kind of just grounding and making the whole connection stable and confident, essentially. And that's coming, it's related to this. It's very, very directly connected with this. We have calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. We've got reach out. We've got express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And we've got flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. And we have new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings as well. But like I said, this could very much be a renewal of the divine masculine, because he's got the death card, he's got transformation, he's got release. So I'm going to end it there. I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you again for all of your support. If you do like the video, please do click the like button and please do subscribe. It would be lovely to have you connected. And yeah, everyone who supports me in any way, shape or form, I'm so grateful. Love you guys loads and have a wonderful week. Lots of love. Bye.